In 1997, in the streets of Los Angeles, the LAPD and Colombian gangsters engage in a pitched battle that sets the streets of the city ablaze. Intrepid Lieutenant Mike Harrigan bursts onto the scene. He arms himself and drives his car straight to the front lines, protecting and giving an opening to his comrades. His shotgun blasts helpless criminals. The remaining Colombians seize the opportunity to retreat to a nearby building that serves as their stronghold. As they heavily arm themselves, they are attacked by an invisible enemy and slaughtered. Only the leader of the gang, El Scorpio, comes out hysterically terrified and escapes to the roof.
Hands up!
Harrigan shoots the man, who falls off the roof and is killed. But he spots a distorted figure that instantly disappears. In the room where the gangsters were arming themselves, Danny notices that one of them has been suspended about 40 feet above the ground. Back at the precinct, Harrigan is lectured by his captain, who informs him that a federal investigation must not be interfered with. Peter Keyes claims his team is trying to stop Colombian and Jamaican gangs from establishing an empire on the West Coast. The lieutenant chooses independence. He also welcomes a new member, Jerry, a smart and arrogant detective. In a luxury apartment, Ramon Vega, the leader of the Colombian gangs, sleeps with his girlfriend when they are interrupted by Jamaican gangsters. They hang him upside down and rip out his heart as part of a ritual. They are suddenly attacked by an invisible enemy using superior weapons, and all are savagely slaughtered. Arriving on the scene, Harrigan and his team enter the apartment and find several flayed bodies hanging from the ceiling. Vega's girlfriend is the sole survivor. Suddenly, Keyes enters the room and orders them to leave. Also in the room is a sleazy reporter, Tony Pope, much of the carnage. The woman who survived is taken in an ambulance, which, under the supervision of Jerry, who is filming, is kidnapped by the helicopter team of Peter Keyes. Later that night, at the scene of the carnage, Danny, who has an appointment with Harrigan, arrives first and looks around the room. In the rafters, he spots a small object embedded in an air conditioner that appears to be some sort of spearhead. Suddenly, he loses his footing and falls, but an arm grabs him, and a large masked figure holding him by the ankle brings him back and kills him, making his blood splatter. Harrigan later finds himself in the office of Captain Heineman, who reprimands him harshly for Danny's death and his jurisdictional interference. He leaves the meeting angry and confronts Keyes, telling him that he is motivated by revenge and that he will find the killer himself. At the police forensic lab, Harrigan asks a doctor to examine the tip of the spear he recovered. The doctor determines that the metal is not found in the periodic table of elements, Harrigan tells Leona to arrange a meeting with King Willie, the leader of the Jamaican gangs, with the intention of sharing information. He also meets Jerry, who has been doing surveillance on Keys. The survivor of the attack was taken in a helicopter, and Jerry was unable to find her. As he and Harrigan leave the bar, they are greeted by a large limo full of Jamaican mobsters. Harrigan joins them and is taken to an alley where he meets King Willie, a voodoo practitioner, for information. King Willie mysteriously tells Harrigan that the enemy they both face comes from a world he cannot understand, and Harrigan leaves unanswered. Just after he leaves, Willie is surprised by the Predator. The water causes an electrical disturbance on the body of the Predator, and this becomes visible. He challenges Willie to a blade fight and wins. The Predator takes Willie's severed head away and is cleaning the skull tissue for a trophy. Which he places on a spike. Harrigan calls Jerry and Leona to the forensic lab. The doctor tells them that the only lead she has comes from evidence collected at the scene of Danny's murder, traces of debris from a slaughterhouse. The lieutenant tells them to meet him in the meatpacking district of Los Angeles. At the cemetery, a little boy is playing with a toy gun. The Predator targets him but does not kill him when he realizes that he poses no threat because he is unarmed. Harrigan also goes to the cemetery to pay his respects to Danny and sees his necklace hanging from a tree branch. Startled and looking for his enemy, he grabs the necklace and realizes that the Predator is specifically stalking him. On the subway, Jerry and Leona encounter a group of gang members harassing a passenger. As Jerry and Leona attempt to defuse any impending carnage, the Predator jumps onto the roof of their car and enters it. It runs through the passengers, killing anyone with a weapon. Leona leads most of the passengers to the opposite end of the train. She sees Jerry shoot an unseen target. The bullets have no effect, and he jumps at the Predator with a large knife. Leona triggers an alarm which stops the train, and she guides the passengers off the platform. Bloodied, Elle returns to the last car and finds Jerry and a few commuters dead and hanging by the ankles. The Predator suddenly appears and grabs her. Looking at her with his infrared vision, he sees that she is pregnant. In the crush, Harrigan arrives on the scene. Then he deduces that all the passengers who were killed were armed. Walking through the tunnel, he spots the Predator ripping out Jerry's skull and spine. Harrigan pursues him and then tracks him in a police car for several blocks until he is stopped by Key's men. Taken to a high-tech command center, he discovers that the Predator is an alien who uses advanced weaponry. A commando team encountered another such creature in a Latin American jungle 10 years ago. The alien can only track its prey using infrared technology. His team wears special suits that insulate their body heat and make them invisible. The Predator comes to the site every other day to feed on the beef there. Keyes and his team enter the slaughterhouse. The predator, hearing the noise, adjusts his vision amplifier until he is able to see the beams of lights the team is using. Harrigan tries to warn Keyes that they've been spotted, but the team is attacked by the predator, who nearly kills them all. Then he arms himself and blasts the door open just as the predator fires a blast from his laser cannon at Keyes. He fires at the predator, damaging its laser cannon and disabling its cloaking system. Harrigan fires several times with a rifle, hitting several times. He approaches slowly and removes his helmet, studies it briefly. Suddenly, the predator wakes up and throws him back. He is about to kill him when Keyes intervenes, trying to blast the monster with frozen nitrogen. The alien launches a smart disc that slices Keyes in half and then chases Harrigan to the roof of the building. He throws his large hunting spear but misses. Harrigan uses the spear and rams the alien. They both cling to a ledge. The predator activates a timer connected to a small nuclear charge. Harrigan uses the alien's smart disc to cut off his arm, disabling the bomb. The alien then grabs a large pipe and crashes into an apartment bathroom. There, he uses an elaborate first aid kit to treat his painful wounds. Harrigan follows him and ends up falling in the elevator shaft of the building. He arrived in a cave where the spaceship of the alien was hidden. Inside, Harrigan finds a sort of small shrine with skulls of humans, animals, and aliens. The predator attacks Harrigan again, who fights it off with his smart disc. Failing the inability, he surprises the predator, seriously injuring him. After he dies, several other predators appear and carry off their fallen comrade. The last to leave looks briefly at Harrigan and throws him a flintlock, a trophy from a previous hunt. The original owner's name and the year 1715 are engraved on the pistol. The hero hears the spacecraft start up and runs for cover just before the explosion of the engines fills the cavern. As he is covered in dust and comes out of a tunnel, he knows they are coming back. Thank you for enjoying this exciting film with us. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell. See you soon on Storytime.